What's up, Facebook world? Matt Plapp here. Obviously, you see me. You're on my page, so you probably figured that out. Just left a client's restaurant. They own around 10 restaurants now, maybe one or two more. A couple of them are in my program that we have, the ROI engine. And it's pretty wild to think back to where I was 20 years ago to where I am today with advertising conversations. And what I mean by that was 20 years ago in 1999, I was selling radio advertising. And I started in March of 99. So a couple months from now, a month from now is when I started radio advertising, March 13th, 1999. And the part that was terrible of that job was that I could not go into a client and prove to them without a reasonable doubt the efforts that we had done on their behalf resulted in an impact on their business. And that result today is identical with radio stations and TV stations and billboards. The reps with those businesses and even the business owners can't have a candid conversation about the results. And that was the hardest part of my journey selling advertising. I did well. I sold a lot of advertising. I had a lot of clients, had a lot of happy clients because we delivered a great product. The radio stations I worked for were awesome. WGR, B105, Q102, Channel Z, which was Alex at one point, but Channel Z towards the last couple years. And radio worked, don't get me wrong. Radio, TV, all advertising works. It just comes down to understanding how well it's working, why it's working, and what adjustments to make it work better. Well, what brings this topic up was I just left the client's restaurant, and they have 2 restaurants in our program, and they're looking at adding the 3rd into the system. And I was able to show them a dashboard, our dashboard that showed them, hey, you spent $2,500 the last 4 months between my company and Facebook. That $2,500 yielded 1,400 people in a database. It yielded 30,000 impressions. It yielded 900 engagements. It yielded 700 redemptions, $6,000 in sales. And based on projections of future visits from the program and from what traditional customer research shows, about 15 grand in sales in the next 12 months from that database. That just got me thinking, like, man, this is powerful stuff, because if I'm a radio rep 20 years ago and even today, I'm having the same conversation. I'm telling that customer, hey, you're going to reach 30,000 people a week. Well, they don't know that. I don't know if you know this or not. A lot of people don't know this. If you're watching this, radio stations' audience numbers are generated on surveys of consumers. The people meter is a pager that people wear. And here's the scary part about it, is that like for a city like Cincinnati, it's about 1,000 people typically, from what I understand, maybe up to 2,000 sometimes. So 1,000 people's research and data is what's generating 1 million people's information. And to give you another scary example of that, to talk about results, is that like when I was in radio, we used to have these warnings when we would run reports. Arbitron was one of them. I think it's owned by Nielsen now, I believe. We had one called Maximizer. And you would pull a report up to say, hey, my radio station does this well with women 35 to 45 in Boone County, Kentucky. And that was fine and dandy because it was like, cool, this is pretty cool. We can show clients this. What I didn't know then was what I know now, is that there's a chance that only 1, 2, or 3 women in that demographic lived in Boone County that responded to that station. So I might be showing a stat saying, hey, we're the #1 radio station in Boone County, women 35 plus, when in fact we have no clue because only 1 or 2 women from Boone County 35 plus responded to the survey. So to get back to my point was, think about the fact that as an advertising, it hasn't evolved. They don't know who the hell's listening. TV doesn't know who's watching. Billboards have no clue who looked at them. The bus I just passed a minute ago has no clue that the advertiser on that bus reached me or didn't reach me. And that's a powerful tool from a standpoint that, yes, eyeballs make a difference. I have bought pizza from Papa John's off of a Papa John's billboard on Route 42 in Florence. I was like, oh, sounds good tonight. Yes, all advertising works. But imagine the impact it can have if you know how well it works. Like this client I was just with, their one location, the stats show that every time they spend $5.44 in our program with Matt Plaps, Driven Media Solutions, our agency, and the Facebook ad cost. So every time they spend $5.44, a consumer walks into that location and spends on average $6. Now you might look at that and go, they spent $5 and got $6. Well, that's the short-term look. We're looking at it's fast food. We're looking at visit 2 through 30. We're looking at year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, me, for example, there's a Chipotle right there. I eat a Chipotle twice a week. There's another brand, Hothead Burrito up the street. I eat a Hothead Burrito twice a week. I eat at brand up here, Guthrie's, once a week. I mean, I eat out a lot, so that's a whole other conversation. But we're looking at the fact that this client can say, hey, Matt, we're really wanting to move the needle on this brand. We'd love to see another $1,000 a month in sales. So in theory, we can ramp up their spend. And every time we spend $5 to $6, we're going to get a customer to walk in the door and spend money. Now the goal, this is the tricky part, is they have to deliver a great product, a great experience, a clean environment, that what gets that customer wanting to come back. The reason I visit Chipotle once or twice a week, it's a consistent experience. It was kind of funny. I ate at the original Chipotle. My guy Levi Rodriguez invited me when I was in Denver on a ski trip about 2 months ago. Invited myself and my family, and we went to the original Chipotle in Denver. And it was underwhelming and overwhelming for two different reasons. Underwhelming that I can't believe Chipotle hasn't done anything with this location. It literally has like 6 seats and 2 little bars, nothing else. And it's just a normal Chipotle. I'm like, this is your first location. If I was Mr. Chipotle, that would be, wow, this is the mothership. T-shirts, hats, shirts, tour, I mean, you name it. Different story. What was overwhelming was how the food and experience was identical to this one in Erlanger, Kentucky I just passed. So that's why I go back. So that's why I talk about that customer acquisition, that yes, we spent $5 to get a customer to come in to spend 6 or 7 at this restaurant. But the goal is, okay, now the next visit, it doesn't cost us anything. Visit number 2, the person comes in. In this particular case, it's a BOGO. So they're going to spend about $10. Well, that $10 cost us 0. We already spent money to get them. And then now that next third purchase is a free, they call them, it's a free dessert. And that free dessert cost them nothing to get in the person's hands. We already acquired the person. So how cool is that? When I look back 20 years, this was 20 years ago, we didn't know that, because Facebook didn't exist, or Instagram, or email's different than it was today and back then. It actually worked back then. But the fact that I can have a conversation with a client and say, okay, you'd like to see 1,000 more in sales a month. So let's get, easy math, 5 into 100. That's 20. 20 times 10, that's 200. I need to get 200 people into this restaurant, which means based on our experience, 33% of their clients in our program come in the restaurant. So that means I need to get about another 700 contacts into the database. I get another 700 people in, I'm going to drive $1,000 in sales. And then I get 40% of those people back the following month. I'm going to drive another $500, $700, $1,000. That's what we're talking about, is how cool is that we know the benefit of what we're doing for clients. We didn't know that 20 years ago. We now know it. So that's all I want to talk about. I think it was a pretty cool experience. I'm looking forward to improving the program more and more and be able to have conversations like this, because there's nothing better than sitting down with a customer. 20 years ago when I sat down with radio, I had no clue what the hell I was doing. About 6 months in, I got a really good idea, and I did real well with it, and I enjoyed it, and had a great work environment, great atmosphere, and learned a lot. Learned a lot about advertising. But I was scared to death to walk into a client's office and say, hey, how's your advertising? Because I knew, 1, they didn't know, and 2, I sure as hell didn't know. I was able to walk into this meeting today with my client and his colleague that works along with him as a consultant and show them how many impressions the ads had, how many engagements the ads had. That's good, not great as far as knowing everything, but it's a lot better than anything else. Then how many contacts we gained in Messenger and email. How many of those contacts redeemed an offer? How many contacts redeemed another offer after the initial offer? What their average check was, how much they spent total. That's powerful stuff because now we can project and understand what the marketing effort did. So that's all I got. Got some accounting work to do here in the gym, then a workout, then I'm going home for the weekend. See ya.